And when I asked him how he could treat animals this way, he said animals don't have feelings. That's verbatim what he said to me. And I'm a psychologist, I have a doctorate in clinical psychology, so one of the things, I think you are thirsty. Yeah. One of the things that interests me as a psychologist and just as a human being is why we are cruel. You know, I wrote an essay in the book called Why We Are Mean, because mean is a childish word, it's a word that kids use. She's being mean, you're so mean. But childhood is the genesis of that kind of lack of empathy coming from narcissistic injury. And that's really the bigger question that we need to look at someday, and someday really should be today.
So I grew up without dogs, but I always loved them, and I just can't imagine not having the compassion.
But you have a
or the
special
empathy.
sensitivity. You know, a lot of people like dogs and cats, but they don't bend over backwards to do something helpful, you know, like you have.
Well, my friends do. So I think that's sort of you sort of sort out through people that you want to hang out with or not by how they react to animals in need. You know, if they're not interested, then I'm not interested in them. So it's a great barometer for what kind of person I think you are. Because if you don't have compassion for animals, you certainly cannot have compassion for people. I mean, you can't just separate the two. We're all living.
When our society legally sanctions abuse, it has a trickle-up effect, and so it negatively impacts all of us, you know, in our treatment of each other, our treatment of children, women, minorities, even the environment. It becomes a pervasive attitude of exploitation toward anyone or anything more vulnerable than us. This is a lot bigger than just animal cruelty. It's a societal problem, and it's huge. Were you always sensitive about animal issues as a child? Is this something you came to later in life?
Well, my father was not a vet, but he worked with a lot of animals. In fact, he treated animals nicer than humans. Bizarrely, it's usually the other way around in society. So we'd been brought up on a farm, we've brought up on animals our whole life. A lot of people do these things innocently and just no idea. And when you educate them, then you see whether they're a good or a bad person.